Welcome back to Top Liberty Coins. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and iconic coins ever produced by the United States Mint, the quarter dollar. But not just any quarter dollar, we're exploring a coin that carries both history and mystery, a coin that has intrigued collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday coin enthusiasts for decades. We're talking about the 1966 quarter dollar. This seemingly ordinary piece of metal carries within it a story that spans years of American history, significant changes in currency production, and surprising value on the market today. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that once passed through countless pockets, purses, cash registers, and everyday transactions. A coin that quietly witnessed decades of American life. The 1966 quarter is precisely that, a running piece of history that still turns heads among numismatists everywhere. The year 1966 was a turning point in American coinage. The nation was still feeling the effects of the removal of silver from circulating coins. Just a few years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint had ceased including silver in its quarter dollars. What that means is that coins minted from 1965 onward, including the 1966 quarter, were no longer composed of 90% silver as earlier quarters were. Instead, these coins were struck in a copper-nickel clad, with steel used as an inner core that was sandwiched between pure layers of copper and nickel. This change was monumental because it marked a new era of coin production where cost and practicality took precedence, and yet, in that practical decision lies the fascinating allure of the 1966 quarter. Collectors today are searching for those with exceptional quality, striking details, and especially rare varieties or mint errors. Unlike rare silver coins valued primarily for their precious metal content, the 1966 quarter tells its story through condition, craftsmanship, and history. A perfectly preserved example, one that shows no wear and still gleams as if untouched by time, can command prices that make many casual collectors' jaws drop. Today's market values for the 1966 quarter vary widely, depending on condition and quality. A worn, everyday coin still worth face value might be priced around 25 cents, exactly what it was originally meant to be worth. But once you start talking grades that collectors prize, coins just released from mint state rolls, coins with full mint luster, coins graded by professional services, the value climbs dramatically. For instance, a 1966 quarter in pristine condition, graded extremely high by top grading standards, could be worth many times its face value. Some of these coins have been known to sell for hundreds of dollars. In rare outlier cases, exceptionally flawless specimens have even drawn bids approaching thousands when offered at auction among serious collectors. That's a considerable return considering this coin once spent years jingling in pocket change. What makes the 1966 quarter especially interesting is that it's not just a coin, it's a representation of American economic shifts, technological change, and numismatic evolution. It was produced in staggering numbers. Millions were made because quarters were needed for everyday transactions. Yet despite those massive mintages, high-grade examples are surprisingly scarce. Over decades, most were used, rubbed, scratched, or lost, reducing the number of high-quality examples available to collectors today, and for many collectors, hunting down a remarkable 1966 quarter has become a challenge, a kind of thrill that connects the present to the past. Imagine browsing through pocket change, rolls of coins from banks, collections passed down through families, all in search of that one coin that shines just a little brighter, a coin that tells a story beyond its face value. Across collector forums and marketplaces, discussions about the 1966 quarter remain rich and animated. There are debates about the best ways to store coins to preserve their surfaces, discussions about how grading affects value, and stories about dramatic discoveries, when someone suddenly finds a pristine quarter forgotten in an old jar of coins and suddenly realizes the treasure they've had all along. These stories add depth and personality to what might otherwise be dismissed as a simple everyday object, and let's not forget that coins like the 1966 quarter aren't only valued for potential financial gain, they also connect us to moments in time. When this coin was minted, people were using it to buy everyday goods, paying for phone calls, lunches, and gasoline. It circulated across cities, towns, farms, and neighborhoods. It tells the story not just of minting and metal but of life lived with this little piece of currency in everyday America. So, what do collectors today consider the current market value for the 1966 quarter? While the vast majority remain worth slightly more than face value in ordinary condition, specific coins that have been well preserved, especially those graded at the highest tiers, can see values in the high hundreds and even into the thousands of dollars in rare cases. Market demand, collector interest, and grading standards all play a role in determining what someone is ultimately willing to pay. For anyone interested in coins, the 1966 quarter stands as a perfect example of why coin collecting can be both rewarding and endlessly fascinating. It's not just about the metal or the denomination, it's about uncovering the hidden stories, appreciating the craftsmanship, and understanding how history circulates in our hands. If you've ever wondered whether a coin in your drawer could be worth far more than you think, the 1966 quarter is a reminder to look closely, appreciate carefully, and never overlook the potential treasure in everyday objects. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1966 quarter dollar, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories, values, and uncovering hidden treasures that might just be waiting in your own pocket change. Today we are diving deep into one of the most iconic pieces of American currency ever created, the quarter dollar, with a special focus on the legendary 1973 issue, a coin that many people overlook but collectors constantly search for, and some examples that can reach astonishing values up to $787,976.48 depending on rarity, condition, mint mark, and unique errors. Yes, you heard that right, a simple 25-cent coin could be worth more than a luxury house, and by the end of this video you will understand exactly why. So stay with me, because what you are about to learn could completely change the way you look at your pocket change. The story of the modern quarter begins in 1932 when the United States Mint introduced the Washington quarter to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features the powerful profile of Washington facing left with the word Liberty boldly displayed above his head. "In God We Trust" to the left and the date below, while the reverse originally showed a majestic eagle with outstretched wings symbolizing strength and national pride. For decades this design became one of the most recognized images in American coinage, and in 1965 the composition changed from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad format, ending the era of silver circulation quarters and marking a new chapter in coin history. By the time 1973 arrived, the quarter was fully clad, composed of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core weighing 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and a reeded edge. And it was minted at three primary facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia issue carries no mint mark. The Denver coins display a small D mint mark, and San Francisco coins show an S mint mark, usually found on proof versions struck for collectors. In 1973, millions upon millions of quarters were produced, more than 346 million at Philadelphia, over 232 million at Denver, and proof coins from San Francisco were made in much smaller quantities. But here is where things become interesting, because mintage numbers alone do not determine value. Condition, rarity, strike quality, mint errors, and preservation all play a major role, and this is where collectors pay serious attention. A regular circulated 1973 quarter without mint mark in average condition is typically worth face value or slightly above, but when you move into uncirculated grades such as MS65, MS66 or higher, the price begins to climb, and in exceptional grades graded by professional services like PCGS and NGC, coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if they exhibit strong luster, sharp strikes, and minimal contact marks. The 1973 D quarter from Denver can also carry premium value in high mint state grades, particularly above MS67, which are extremely rare due to the difficulty in finding coins preserved in flawless condition for over 5 decades now. Let us talk about the 1973 S-proof quarters produced at the San Francisco Mint. Proof coins are specially struck using polished dies and planchets, resulting in mirror-like fields and frosted devices, creating a cameo contrast effect. Deep cameo versions with strong contrast are especially desirable, and while standard proofs may sell for modest amounts, high-grade deep cameo proofs graded PR70 can command impressive premiums in the collector's market. But the real excitement begins when we explore mint Errors and unique varieties, because these are the coins that can transform a 25-cent piece into a life-changing discovery. Off-center strikes, where the coin design is misaligned. Double die obverse or reverse varieties, where design elements appear doubled. Broad strikes, missing clad layer errors, where part of the outer nickel layer is absent revealing copper underneath. And wrong planchet errors, where a quarter is struck on a different denomination blank, such as a nickel or even foreign planchet. These errors are rare and collectors aggressively compete for them depending on the severity and eye appeal. Some 1973 error quarters have sold for thousands, and in extraordinary unique cases specialized auction results have approached dramatic numbers that fuel headlines and viral stories. The idea of a quarter selling near $787,976.48 represents the absolute extreme of numismatic rarity, typically associated with unique mint mistakes, historical significance, pristine condition, and intense collector demand combined at major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where competitive bidding can push rare coins into six-figure territory and beyond. Although not every 1973 quarter will reach such heights, understanding what makes a coin valuable is the key to recognizing opportunity. Always check for sharp details in Washington's hair, the clarity of the Liberty inscription, the condition of the eagle or reverse design, and examine the mint mark carefully. Under magnification, look for doubling, unusual textures, weight differences, and color variations. Using a digital scale and magnifying loupe can reveal critical clues, and if you suspect something unusual, never clean the coin, because cleaning destroys value and can reduce a potentially high-grade specimen to a fraction of its worth. Preserving original surfaces is essential in numismatic storage. Also matters. Coins kept in protective holders away from moisture, heat, and fingerprints maintain their grade far better than loose coins stored in jars or drawers. Over the years, the Washington Quarter series has evolved, including the bicentennial design of 1976, the 50-state quarters program beginning in 1999, and the America the Beautiful series. But the classic Washington design from the early 1970s remains a cornerstone for collectors building date and mint mark sets, and the 1973 issue represents an important era in post-silver clad coinage collecting for investors and collectors alike. Understanding population reports from grading services can help determine rarity at specific grade levels. Sometimes a coin with high mintage overall can still be incredibly rare in top condition, and this supply and demand imbalance drives market prices upward dramatically. When you think about it, every 1973 quarter you see today has traveled through decades of history, passing through countless hands, witnessing economic shifts, technological revolutions, and cultural change, and yet a small number of them survived in pristine state, waiting quietly in rolls, bank vaults, or private collections until rediscovered and placed into competitive auctions where collectors recognize their scarcity and value. This is what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the possibility that an everyday object holds extraordinary potential value. The current market value of a 1973 quarter depends entirely on condition and rarity. Circulated examples are typically worth 25 cents to $1. Uncirculated MS-65 coins may range from $10 to $40. Higher mint state grades can reach hundreds. Proof deep cameo versions can reach significant premiums, and rare error coins or top population specimens can escalate dramatically depending on buyer interest and auction momentum, reaching thousands, and in exceptional legendary circumstances even approaching sensational numbers reported in high-profile sales. So the next time you receive change, do not ignore the quarter, examine it closely, look at the date, check for AD or S mint mark, inspect the surfaces, and imagine the journey that small silver-colored disc has taken, because inside that metal lies craftsmanship, history, economics, art, and sometimes astonishing hidden wealth. Here on Coins we explore these stories to educate, inspire, and empower you to see money differently, not just as currency but as history you can hold in your hand, treasure that may be waiting quietly in a drawer or jar in your home. If you enjoyed this deep exploration of the 1973 Washington Quarter and its potential value, make sure to stay connected, because the world of numismatics is full of surprises, and who knows, the next coin we discuss might already be in your pocket right now. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating pieces of American pocket change, the legendary 1977 quarter dollar, a coin that millions of people have held in their hands without ever realizing the potential story and value behind it. This is not just another 25-cent coin, this is a piece of American history, a symbol of liberty, and in rare cases a collector's dream, worth far more than its face value. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you might look at your spare Change in a completely different way. The 1977 D quarter is part of the iconic Washington quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The obverse of the coin proudly displays the powerful left-facing profile of George Washington with the word liberty boldly inscribed across the top. The phrase "In God We Trust" placed to the left and the date 1977 stamped below, while the small but important D mint mark appears on the reverse, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the United States Mint. The reverse design features a majestic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows symbolizing strength, and olive branches symbolizing peace, surrounded by United States of America and quarter dollar. This classic eagle design remained in use until the late 1990s, before the famous state quarters program changed everything. The 1977 D quarter was minted during a time of economic transition in the United States. Inflation was rising and precious metals had already been removed from circulating quarters since 1965, meaning this coin is composed of a copper core with a nickel-clad outer layer, not silver. Many people mistakenly believe all old quarters are silver, but only quarters minted before 1965 contain 90% silver, making the 1977 D a clad composition coin. Yet that does not mean it cannot be valuable. In fact, the Denver Mint produced over 256 million quarters in 1977, which makes it common in circulated condition. But value in the coin world is not just about mintage numbers, it is about condition, rarity, errors, and demand. A heavily circulated 1977 D quarter found in everyday pocket change is usually worth face value 25 cents, but when we step into higher grades, things begin to change dramatically. Uncirculated examples graded MS-65 by professional grading services can sell for several dollars, and superb gem examples graded MS-67 or higher can command prices from hundreds to even thousands of dollars, depending on eye appeal, luster, and strike quality. Because at those levels only a tiny fraction of the original mintage survives in pristine condition. Now here is where things get truly exciting: error coins and rare varieties. A 1977 D quarter with a double die obverse off-center strike, clipped planchet, or major minting error can multiply in value instantly. Collectors are always searching for coins with unique characteristics because errors are accidental and limited, making them far scarcer than regular strikes. Some high-grade error examples have sold for hundreds, and in extraordinary certified cases even more. While it is extremely rare for a 1977 D quarter to reach astronomical figures like hundreds of thousands of dollars, such numbers are usually associated with ultra-rare historical coins or major minting mistakes. However, condition rarity can create surprising auction results, especially when two determined collectors compete in bidding wars. The phrase "worth a lot of money" often depends on context. A coin graded at the very top population report with blazing original mint luster, no contact marks, sharp strike, and flawless surfaces could bring a remarkable premium compared to an ordinary circulated example. This is why professional grading services such as PCGS and NGC play a major role in determining a coin's market value, because authentication and grading provide confidence to buyers and investors. The Washington quarter design itself is rich in symbolism. The portrait of George Washington represents leadership, resilience, and the founding principles of the United States, while the word liberty across the top reminds Americans of the nation's core values. The eagle on the reverse conveys power, independence, and readiness, a design that resonated strongly during the late 20th century. Collecting quarters is one of the most popular entry points into numismatics because they are accessible, affordable, and widely available. Yet within that accessibility lies the possibility of hidden gems. The 1977 D quarter may not be silver and may not be rare in average condition, but in top certified grades or with dramatic mint errors, it transforms from everyday currency into a collectible asset. The current market for Washington quarters continues to show steady demand, especially for high-grade clad coins, because registry set collectors compete fiercely to build the finest possible collections, and when population numbers show only a few coins graded at the highest levels, prices can spike dramatically at auction. It is important for collectors to carefully examine coins under magnification. Look for full detail in Washington's hair, strong strike on the eagle's feathers, minimal bag marks, and brilliant cartwheel luster. These features significantly influence value. Storage also plays a key role. Coins preserved in original mint sets or protected in holders have a better chance of maintaining higher grades compared to coins that Circulated for decades through cash registers and pockets. If you believe you have a high-grade 1977 D quarter, consider professional grading, because authentication not only protects the coin but also maximizes its resale potential. Remember, the coin market fluctuates based on demand, condition, rarity, and broader economic trends, so staying informed through auction results, price guides, and collector communities can help you understand realistic values. While most 1977 D quarters trade modestly, exceptional examples have achieved impressive premiums, proving that even modern clad coinage can surprise us with hidden worth. The excitement of coin collecting lies in this very possibility that an ordinary-looking coin could hold extraordinary value, and that is why millions of collectors search through rolls of quarters every year hoping to discover the next standout piece. So next time you see Liberty shining across the top of a Washington quarter dated 1977 with a small D mint mark on the reverse, do not dismiss it too quickly. Examine it carefully, because condition is everything and rarity can exist within common dates. This has been Coins, bringing you deeper into the world of numismatics, where history, value, and discovery come together. If you enjoyed this detailed exploration of the 1977 D quarter and its current market value and historical background, make sure to subscribe, like, and share, because every coin has a story, and sometimes that story could be worth far more than 25 cents. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1984 P Washington quarter, a coin that many people ignore every single day, yet some examples of this very coin can be worth far more than 25 cents. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand and discovering it could be worth hundreds, thousands, or in rare dream scenarios even numbers like $78,797,646. Now that kind of value would require an extreme mint error or a one-of-a-kind historical significance, but the excitement of coin collecting is exactly that possibility. That hidden treasure might be sitting quietly in your pocket. The 1984 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, officially known as the United States Mint, and the P mint mark indicates it was produced in Philadelphia, something that had not always appeared on earlier Philadelphia coins, but by 1984 the mint mark system was standard. This coin features the iconic portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, with Liberty boldly displayed at the top and "In God We Trust" placed to the left, while the date 1984 rests proudly at the bottom. This design traces back to 1932, when the United States Mint introduced the Washington quarter to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth, and since then it has become one of the most recognized coins in American history. The reverse of the 1984 P quarter features the majestic eagle with wings spread clutching arrows and olive branches symbolizing strength and peace. United States of America curves above and quarter dollar appears below, creating a balanced, powerful image that has defined the quarter for decades now. You might wonder what makes a 1984 P quarter valuable when millions were produced. In fact, over 676 million quarters were struck in Philadelphia that year, making it a very common coin in circulated condition. Most 1984 P quarters you find in pocket change today are worth exactly 25 cents, but condition is everything in coin collecting and uncirculated example graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services such as the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Company can sell for significantly more, especially if it has strong luster, clean fields, and sharp strike details. High-grade examples graded MS-67 have sold for hundreds of dollars, and in rare top population grades the price can climb even higher because collectors compete fiercely for the finest known specimens. The term current market value depends heavily on grade and demand. As of recent market trends, a typical circulated 1984 P quarter remains face value. An MS-63 might sell for $5 to $10, and MS-65 can reach $20 to $40, and MS-67 examples have crossed into the several $100 range depending on appeal, auction timing, and collector demand. While prices fluctuate, the key factor is rarity and top condition. Because so many were produced, very few survived in pristine, untouched condition straight from mint rolls that were carefully preserved since 1984. Error coins are where things get truly exciting. A 1984 P quarter with a major mint error such as a double die obverse, off-center strike, broad strike, or dramatic die crack can command impressive premiums. For example, a strong double die showing visible doubling in Liberty or the date can sell for hundreds of dollars. Off-center errors with 10 to 50% misalignment while still showing the date can bring collectors into competitive bidding wars, because each error is unique and collectors love one-of-a-kind pieces, sometimes coin struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the blank metal intended for another denomination, can create astonishing rarities worth thousands of dollars. These extraordinary error coins are the ones that spark headlines and fuel the dream that your quarter might be a hidden jackpot. When discussing extraordinary numbers like $78,797,646, it is important to understand that such a value would only be possible if the coin possessed unprecedented historical importance or a never-before-seen mint error, perhaps a transitional metal composition or a proof-striking anomaly combined with a pristine grade and documented uniqueness. In reality, no standard 1984 P quarter has ever sold anywhere near that figure, but the thrill of coin collecting lies in the chase, in the knowledge that coins like the 1976 bicentennial quarter or rare silver issues from earlier decades have surprised collectors with unexpected value, and that keeps the hobby alive and growing. The metal composition of the 1984 P quarter is a copper-nickel clad mixture consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving it a weight of 5.67 grams and a diameter of 24.26 millimeters. This clad composition replaced silver quarters in 1965, making pre-1965 quarters far more valuable for their silver content alone. But even clad coins can become treasures if preserved in exceptional condition or featuring rare errors. Storage plays a huge role in maintaining value. Collectors store high-grade quarters in protective holders, slabs, or archival quality flips to prevent scratches, toning, and environmental damage, because even a small mark can drop a coin's grade dramatically. Lighting also reveals the beautiful cartwheel luster that high-grade Washington quarters are known for, and when you tilt a mint state coin under light, you can see that radiant shine moving across the surface, which collectors absolutely love. The history of the Washington quarter itself connects to American heritage, strength, leadership, and the symbolism of liberty. When you look at liberty across the top of your 1984 P quarter, you are seeing a word that has defined the identity of the United States for centuries, and that symbolism adds emotional value beyond monetary worth. Coin collecting is not just about profit, it is about history, art, and connection to the past. The 1984 P quarter was produced during a time of economic recovery. In the mid-1980s, America saw growth, cultural change, and technological advancement, and these quarters passed through countless hands, buying groceries, fueling cars, and circulating through daily life, becoming silent witnesses to history. Every scratch on a circulated piece tells a story. Every uncirculated example preserved in a roll represents foresight from someone who believed in saving coins for the future. If you are searching for valuable 1984 P quarters, start by examining mint rolls, coin jars, inherited collections, and bank rolls. Look carefully at Liberty, the date, and Washington's hair details for sharpness. Use a magnifying glass to inspect for doubling or unusual marks. Weigh suspicious coins to ensure proper weight and compare with verified examples. Online auctions and price guides. Remember, authentication is critical because the coin market also has altered pieces or exaggerated claims. Grading by respected services ensures credibility and maximizes resale value. The coin market changes over time, driven by collector interest, silver prices, historical trends, and registry set competition. Registry sets organized by grading companies encourage collectors to build top-ranked collections, which pushes up the price of the highest graded coin, sometimes dramatically. This competitive spirit can transform a common date coin into a valuable asset if it becomes the finest known example. Patience, knowledge, and attention to detail are the true secrets of coin success. While most 1984 P quarters remain worth face value, the possibility of discovering a gem quality example or dramatic error keeps collectors searching through rolls late at night, examining coins under bright lamps, and sharing discoveries with the community. That passion is what defines the hobby. So next time you receive change, do not dismiss that quarter too quickly. Check the mint mark, inspect the condition, and imagine the journey that small coin has taken from the presses of the Philadelphia Mint to your hand. Because within ordinary change, extraordinary stories can hide, and here on Coins we continue exploring those stories, uncovering history, value, and the excitement that turns pocket change into treasure. Keep searching, keep learning, and you might just find that one special coin that changes everything. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and widely collected coins in American history, the quarter dollar, and especially the 1985 P Washington quarter, a coin that many people overlook, but that holds an incredible story of history, value, and possibility. Imagine holding a simple 25-cent coin in your hand and wondering, could this small piece of metal be worth far more than its face value? Could it even reach astonishing numbers like $78,797,645? Stay with me because we are Going to explore the truth, the history, the market value, and the rare circumstances that turn an ordinary quarter into a collector's treasure. The quarter dollar has been part of the United States monetary system since 1796, and over centuries it has reflected the evolving identity of the nation. One of the most iconic designs is the Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features the dignified portrait of Washington on the obverse with the word Liberty proudly above his head and "In God We Trust" to the left, while the reverse originally displayed a powerful eagle symbolizing strength and freedom. For decades this design remained a cornerstone of American coinage, connecting generations through everyday commerce and collecting. Fast forward to 1985, a year that may not seem extraordinary at first glance, but in the world of coin collecting, every year, every mint mark, and every tiny detail matters. The 1985 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and carries the P Mint mark, which by the 1980s had become standard practice to identify coins produced there. Millions of these quarters were minted in 1985. In fact, over 776 million were produced, making it a very common coin in circulation, and because of that, most 1985 P quarters in circulated condition are worth exactly 25 cents. However, and this is where the excitement begins, condition, rarity, and errors can completely change the story. In today's current market, a typical 1985 P quarter in average circulated condition remains at face value, but uncirculated examples graded in high mint state condition by professional grading services can sell for significantly more. Coins graded MS65 or MS66 may sell for several dollars, while exceptionally preserved pieces graded MS67 can reach prices of $100 or more depending on demand. Auction competition and appeal. Now you might be asking, how could a quarter ever be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars? The answer lies in rarity, uniqueness, and historical significance. Some coins become extraordinarily valuable because of minting errors such as double die, obverse, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, or dramatic misprints. If a 1985 P quarter were discovered with a major mint error in pristine condition, it could command a high premium, especially if certified and authenticated by respected grading companies. Another factor that can skyrocket a coin's value is provenance. If a coin was owned by a famous collector or discovered in a remarkable hoard, its story adds to its appeal. Collectors do not just buy metal, they buy history, mystery, and prestige. When we talk about a figure like $78,797,645, it is important to understand that while no standard 1985 P quarter has ever sold for such a number in normal market conditions, rare coins in American history have indeed reached multi-million-dollar prices. For example, legendary rarities such as early silver dollars or unique error coins have stunned the numismatic world at auction. So while a regular 1985 P quarter will not make you a millionaire overnight, the dream of discovering an extraordinary error keeps collectors searching through pocket change every day. The composition of the 1985 P quarter is copper nickel clad, meaning it contains no silver, unlike quarters minted before 1965 which were 90% silver. This is another reason most 1985 quarters carry only face value, because they do not have intrinsic precious metal content. However, collectors focus heavily on strike quality, luster, and preservation. A sharply struck coin with brilliant cartwheel luster and no visible marks under magnification can be far more desirable than a worn example found in circulation. When examining your own 1985 P quarter, pay attention to the word Liberty at the top of the obverse. Check for doubling in the letters. Inspect Washington's hair details and look closely at the eagle feathers on the reverse. Small variations can make a big difference. Also check the rim for off-center alignment and the fields for unusual texture that might indicate a striking anomaly. The current market for Washington quarters remains active, with collectors completing date and mint mark sets and investors searching for high-grade certified pieces. Online auctions, coin shows, and dealer networks create constant price fluctuations based on demand trends. In recent years, interest in classic U.S. coinage has grown thanks to social media, online marketplaces, and educational content that inspires new collectors to enter the hobby. This means even modern clad quarters in top condition are gaining attention as registry set competition increases. The beauty of coin collecting is that it combines history, art, economics, and treasure hunting into one exciting journey. The 1985 P quarter represents an era of American coinage before the state quarter program transformed the reverse designs. Beginning in 1999, those Earlier Washington quarters carry a nostalgic consistency that many collectors appreciate, and completing a full run from 1932 through 1998 can be both challenging and rewarding. So what is the realistic value today? If you find a circulated 1985p quarter, expect 25 cents. If you discover a bright uncirculated roll from an original bank-wrapped source, you might find coins worth several dollars each in high grade. If by chance you uncover a dramatic mint error authenticated and graded, the value could rise significantly, potentially into hundreds or even thousands depending on rarity and condition. But always remember, condition is king in numismatics. Proper storage and protective holders away from moisture and scratches preserves potential value. Over cleaning or polishing can instantly destroy collector interest and reduce worth dramatically. Never clean old coins, instead handle them carefully by the edges and consult professional grading services if you believe you have something special. The dream of turning spare change into a fortune keeps collectors searching jars, drawers, and inherited collections across the world. The 1985p quarter may be common, but within that commonality lies opportunity, because perfection is rare. Finding an MS-67 example in circulation is nearly impossible, which is why top-graded pieces command premium prices. The story of the quarter dollar is a story of America itself: resilience, growth, artistry, and ambition from the early days of hand-struck silver coins to the modern high-speed presses producing millions per day. Each quarter carries a fragment of history in your palm, and sometimes the most ordinary coin can become extraordinary under the right circumstances. So next time you receive change, do not ignore that 1985p quarter. Examine it, study it, appreciate its design, and imagine the journey it has taken through decades of commerce. You may not find $78,797,645 hiding in your pocket, but you will discover the thrill of possibility, the connection to history, and perhaps a valuable collectible waiting to be recognized. This is Coins, bringing you deeper into the world of rare money, hidden value, and the incredible stories behind everyday change. Stay curious, keep searching, and remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than 25 cents. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in pocket change, the 1989 quarter dollar, a coin that many people ignore every single day. But what if I told you that some quarters from this year have shocked collectors and reached incredible market attention, and rumors of values going as high as $78,797,644 have captured the imagination of coin lovers around the world? So let us uncover the truth, the history, the mint marks, the errors, and the real current market value of the 1989 quarter dollar, and discover whether you might be holding something extraordinary in your hands. The quarter dollar has been a symbol of American strength and identity for centuries, and the design seen on the 1989 quarter belongs to the legendary Washington quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The obverse of this coin features the powerful left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, with the word liberty proudly displayed above his head, the phrase "I and God we trust" to the left, and the year 1989 below. His calm yet strong expression has become one of the most recognized images in American coinage history. The reverse side carries the iconic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both military readiness and peace. United States of America arches above, while quarter dollar is inscribed below, and E pluribus unum rests above the eagle, tying together the nation's identity. The 1989 quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, which is represented by the small d mint mark located on the obverse just to the right of Washington's ponytail near the ribbon. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, making this coin extremely common in circulation. However, rarity is not always about mintage numbers, it is about condition and errors. A regular circulated 1989 quarter today typically carries a value of 25 cents in worn condition, but in uncirculated mint state grades its value begins to rise. Coins graded MS-63 might sell for a few dollars, while higher grades such as MS-65 can reach $10 to $20, and in exceptional MS-67 condition some auction records have shown sales climbing toward $100 or more depending on appeal and demand. But the real excitement begins when we talk about mint errors, because error coins transform common pocket change into collector treasures. Some 1989 quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, leaving part of the blank planchet visible. Others show double die characteristics where lettering appears slightly doubled, creating a fascinating visual effect. There are also coins with clipped planchets where a portion of the coin is missing due to a blank cutting error, and these can sell for significant premiums depending on the severity of the error. In rare cases, A dramatic error combined with near-perfect preservation could push the value into hundreds or even thousands of dollars, while the number $78,797,644 may sound like a life-changing jackpot. No verified public auction record supports a standard 1989 D-quarter reaching that astronomical figure. However, the coin market is dynamic, and unique specimens, especially those with one-of-a-kind mint mistakes or exceptional grading, could always surprise collectors. The coin market today remains strong with increased online auctions and third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC driving transparency and competition. A certified high-grade 1989 D-quarter with strong luster, sharp strike and flawless surfaces will always attract attention, especially from registry set collectors who compete for the finest known examples. If you are searching your change, focus on coins with bright original mint shine, minimal contact marks and crisp details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. The better the preservation, the higher the potential market value. Always avoid cleaning coins, as cleaning drastically reduces collector value. Instead, store them carefully in protective holders to preserve their natural surfaces. The Washington Quarter series itself has become one of the longest-running and most collected series in American history, spanning multiple design changes, including the State Quarters program beginning in 1999 and the America the Beautiful series later on. But the classic eagle reverse of 1989 remains beloved by traditional collectors. The 1989 D-quarter represents an era before commemorative explosion, when designs were consistent and mint quality focused on durability for circulation, making high-grade survivors surprisingly harder to find than many people think. Coin collecting is not only about money, it is about history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Each coin carries stories of commerce, pockets, cash registers, and generations of Americans who used it in daily life. The possibility that a simple quarter could hold hidden value keeps collectors searching roll after roll, hoping for that rare gem. Whether your 1989 D-quarter is worth 25 cents or significantly more depends on its condition, rarity, and market demand, and the best way to know for sure is to have it evaluated by a professional grading service or experienced coin dealer. Remember, true value is determined by actual sales, not rumors, and hype can often inflate expectations beyond reality. But knowledge is power, and informed collectors make the smartest decisions. So next time you receive change, take a closer look at the mint mark, inspect the details, and imagine the journey that small silver-colored coin has taken over decades. The 1989 D-quarter dollar may appear ordinary, but in the world of numismatics, even ordinary coins can become extraordinary when preserved in perfect condition or struck with a fascinating error. Keep hunting, keep learning, and stay connected with coins for more deep dives into hidden treasures, rare discoveries, and the exciting world of coin collecting, because your next great find might already be in your pocket waiting to be discovered.